Hey UVC, just wanted to jump on and just give you guys a quick little message, given that it is coming up to the final couple of weeks of the challenge. So hoping to kind of boost you guys up and put a little bit of momentum into your mindsets. Not that you probably actually need it, because you guys are doing an absolutely incredible job. So obviously a massive well done on how amazing you guys have done and how far you've actually come. You really should be proud of yourselves, because I know that I am, and I know that Tom obviously is. And just on that, I just want to give Tom a huge shout out for being such an amazing coach and incredible contribution and support for you guys. So Tommy, you're awesome, just as awesome as the rest of you guys in the UVC challenge. What I wanted to kind of do, just to start off your enthusiasm going forward into this video, was just to maybe have a think around some of the things that you would love to share in the group around what you're actually celebrating today, or even for the rest of the week, even for the rest of the 2 weeks going forward. So if you could share that in our Facebook groups, that would be incredible, just to also encourage everybody else to do the same, and allow everybody else to share what they're looking forward to coming up over the next couple of weeks. As well as we've got the competition running, so please guys, send through those food prep photos, because we really want to see them and see how you guys are kind of tracking. So obviously it doesn't have to be huge big things that you wanted to celebrate. It could be little micro and as well as your macro wins that you are really proud of yourself for doing, and kind of feel like, yep, I've actually overcome quite a few hurdles over the last 8 weeks. And I'd also like to just say I want to celebrate all of you and the way that you've all shown up in this challenge, and you've all stuck together as one incredible team, and just embrace what it actually means to go through a journey as part of a team and all together. So let's finish strong and finish what we started, with absolute drive and momentum and enthusiasm, and let's get to the finish line. And getting to the finish line isn't necessarily about feeling exhausted or burning yourselves out to finish strong. It's just about, meaning that, you're not thinking, oh, well, I've only got 2 weeks left, so I'm going to disappear. It's about, showing up the same way that you showed up at the beginning, still with the same mindset, still with the same determination to finish what you actually started. And, what you get from showing up consistently for the last, couple of weeks of the challenge just might actually make the difference between, you aligning with those goals that you actually set for yourself in the first place. It might just be the turning point you needed to get you through, so you could look back in a few months or even a year and kind of think to yourself, that was it. Those last couple of weeks were the turning point for me to actually get me the drive and allow me to get that motivation to really pull my finger out and go, nope, I'm not going to give up. I'm going to go all the way through, and know that you've actually got this. So again, let's finish where we started. And I know you've all been here the entire time, just really embracing what it feels like to be on a journey to better your health, better your mind, better your body, totally just transform your lives. But perhaps you've been embracing the journey. For you, it means that, you kind of joined at the beginning, but you weren't really engaged for a variety of reasons. Maybe could have been your critter brain, which kind of came in and took over, or other things just kind of came up in life, and maybe you're now only just sort of coming around and coming back into play and saying, no, I'm going to actually open those doors back up and step back in and give it your 100% for the rest of the time. So if that's what's occurring for you right now, that is absolutely perfect, and it means that you're still embracing the rest of the time and you're still in the right mindset to be able to finish strong. Because remember guys, even though we do have 2 weeks left, you still have that opportunity to put 100% in for the next 2 weeks. So you there's no reason not to put in all of the effort that you can. Still same food prep, same mindset, same way you started. And I do know that all of you guys have been stepping into action the entire time, which is absolutely amazing. And like I've always been saying, you should be really, really extremely proud of yourselves for doing that. So whether it was like a consistent showing up for yourself, or inconsistently showing up for yourself, whichever theme that was, doesn't really matter. It just means that you're still moving forward in the right direction and you're going above and beyond from where you were prior to doing the UVC. And all of this, and then some, is perfect, and you guys are perfect as well. So wherever you are in the challenge, now is the perfect opportunity to step back and be aware of exactly where you are right now and how far you've actually come. And we now have the opportunity to start what we finished, and at any given moment, at any given time. And I noticed that some of you were feeling a little bit tired, which this is kind of a little bit of an opportunity to kind of think, all right, I'm going to push the reset button and start fresh. Because we can kind of go, oh shit, I've gone 8 weeks and I'm feeling tired. Or we can reframe that and think, hell, I've got 2 weeks to go. I'm going to gather up as much energy, as much drive as I possibly can for the next 2 weeks, because that's it. And then you're over. So you can kind of take it either ways. I've either been here for 8 weeks, or I've only got 2 weeks to finish. So just choose which one actually feels lighter. Is it that I've got 2 weeks to finish and that is it? So I may as well just keep going. I know which one I would choose if I was going to make that choice. So with that said, I just want to take today as an opportunity, this video as an opportunity to really acknowledge how far you guys have actually come and introduce now a new benchmark for yourselves. So if we were to go on a little journey together and stand in where you are now, I want you to look back at yourself over the last 2 months, look back at yourselves 2 months ago and see what obstacles you've actually been able to overcome, and see what you've actually learned about yourselves and how you feel differently to when you really started. How you feel, think, perceive things in life, your new approach. Do you feel more energized? Do you feel lighter, fitter, stronger? You're more equipped to make better food choices. You've learnt things about yourself that you never knew that were actually possible of you doing. So just taking a little bit of a reflection, a moment to reflect just how far you've actually come along this journey. And this is really important, just to recognize just like how much change has actually occurred. And because if we don't do that, we feel like all of those little hinges that we've used to open those big doors of change, they go unnoticed, and we're kind of like, well, I don't really recognize how I used to feel because I just feel great now. But it's really important to be able to look back and go, who was I then and who am I now? Just to really appreciate the new person that you've become. And remember, I don't want this to be about, critiquing yourself or, going, oh, I should have done this, I shouldn't have done that. It's simply just about bringing awareness to the efforts that you've made over the last 8 weeks. So no judgment. It's not about that. It's about the positive changes that you've actually made in your life. And the future is actually just a bunch of right nows piled on top of each other. And you've already made some choices in the right direction towards your desired outcome. So even if all of your results are not yet fully realized, you've still shifted enough to move that baseline and your norm for how you want to act and shift. So for your norm for how you want to act, and has now shifted a few degrees. So the launching point of change is already better than where you started. So let's get curious and look back at just how far you've actually come. So what is something that you were striving for when you signed up to the challenge, when you first started, and you now feel like it's actually just a regular part of your daily routine, your daily habits, and it's sort of like something that you don't really have to work at anymore. It's just basically on autopilot now. This might be something like staying at home and cooking 80% of the time, or going into the grocery store and actually looking at the nutrition label and being a little bit mindful about what is actually in those foods and the health benefits of it. Is it going to make you feel good, or is it actually going to make you feel more drained? Is it that, you know, showing up to the gym 3, 4, 5 times a week is just something that you feel driven to do? It's sort of like it's a part of your daily routine and there's no ifs or buts. You're like, this is just what I do because I feel strong, I feel confident, and I just want to go train because I know how it makes me feel afterwards. And, you know, just want to also contemplate about, if you were to presuppose this now new norm of operating, what good things could actually, you know, happen over time if you kept going with those, with these new changes that you've made into your life. And giving and receiving acknowledgement is incredibly nourishing, and more importantly, it's motivating for us. So this is why I want you guys to do this exercise, is that if we didn't acknowledge how far we've come, then we're not going to feel motivated to continue on going. So most of us never really acknowledge how far we've come or what we've actually done, regardless of how big or small it is. So we're always kind of like potentially, well, sometimes more often than not, we focus on the things that we're not actually doing in life. So this is about focusing on the small things that you're actually achieving, as well as the big things. So it's not about demotivating ourselves, it's about motivating ourselves. So all the little choices that you have been making along the way, they're going to lead towards these big changes in the end. So there's a couple of questions that I'm going to shout out to you guys, and I want you to just post your answers in the Facebook group, because you know, it's all about sharing and we're all about sticking together. So I will invite you guys to just write down the following questions, and if you can, just to type up your answers in the Facebook group and share. And Tom and I give you full permission to brag about yourself as much as you want, and we will give you guys a pat on the back, no matter how big or small it is, because it's an incredible effort either way. So the questions that we're hoping for you guys to answer is: what are some of the things that you are proud of accomplishing or shifting? What is something you had to learn or overcome in order to have these results that you're now having or experiencing? What are your new benchmarks that you would like to set for yourself? And how does it feel to acknowledge your efforts and engagement in making these changes in your life? So when we say new benchmarks, it's essentially like what I mentioned before, like what is the new benchmark in life now that I've accomplished my previous goals? So I now am cooking at home most nights, so I'm prepping my food. So, or you could just, or your new benchmark is I now prep my food 4 times a week, 3 meals. So your new benchmark could be I am now prepping my meals 5 times a week, and I'm shifting it up a little bit so that I can kind of focus a little bit more on the macros, or I can start to experiment with how it actually digests in my body. So kind of advancing it a little bit further forward. So I am super psyched to hear about your new benchmarks and what you're actually proud of yourself for achieving so far. So please keep those comments, please post in the in the Facebook group when you guys listen to this. And I will see you guys on Thursday, but also just another big shout out to how incredibly amazing you guys are, and what an awesome job you guys are doing. So for those of you I won't see on Thursday, I'm sure I will see you around. All right, see you guys.